Yeah, my name is Iris Compiet. For those who do not know me, and I don't blame you because I don't know myself most of the days. I am a traditional artist from the Netherlands, and by traditional I mean I paint with watercolors, oil paints, I dabble in sculpture. Basically, I do whatever the fuck I want to do, because that's how I am. And today I'm going to, I do not work in gaming, I'm sorry, so if anybody wants to hear about that, the doors are over there, you can leave now, or you're stuck here for the next 30, 45 minutes, looking at some of my failures, many of my failures, but I think it's very important to show those failures because that's how I got where I am now, which is South Africa, Cape Town, all the way from the Netherlands. I'm quite nervous, so I start rambling and saying stupid shit and stuff like that, and you might see some interpretive dancing. That is me just being absolutely... But let's start out with this quote, which is something I was told when it was about 20 years ago, when I felt absolutely shit about what I was doing. I felt like the biggest loser ever. I wasn't getting hired, nobody wanted me, and I saw so much art online I absolutely loved and wanted. I wanted to have created that. And I was talking with John Howe, maybe you know him from his artwork for Lord of the Rings trilogy. He had a forum back then, and he was really good at hyping up people, and he told me, there will always be thousands of artists better than you. Oh, thank you very much. It's not what I want to hear. But you just need to be the best version of you. It took a while for me to understand what that meant. And I was hearing that, I was very like, oh shit, what's even the best version of me? But I'm going to show you how I got there by starting at the beginning. Nothing much has changed, I'm still the same. Cheeky little bugger. These are some of my very first drawings. I think I've already defeated AI, because count the fingers. 4 years old, fuck you AI. So yeah, this is where it all began. I was that little awkward girl who sat in the corner at family dinners, family parties, or underneath the table, just drawing on everything she got a hold of. My mum pretty much threw everything out, so I haven't got a whole lot of this left, but I remember having the ball, having the best time of my life, just painting. Growing up in the 80s meant going to the Netherlands to an amusement park called the Efteling. I think that is way better than Disney, because it had a fairy tale forest, and that was truly what I loved. I listened to stories on tape, because I'm that old. We didn't have any CDs or streaming services. I devoured the book Gnomes, or as the South Africans know it as David de Kabouter. Anything Hans Christian Andersen, Grimm storytellers, so folklore, legend, myth, that was my jam. Obviously, don't know if anybody knows, but ElfQuest is an amazing comic about elves riding wolves, having non-binary things happening. It was, really cool. And then obviously fairies. This is going to be an important one. Being from the 80s, that meant my childhood was fucked up by Labyrinth legend, Dark Crystal, Willow, and then my Arthrax, never-ending story, basically. I'm still getting over that. I still get therapy over that. But I think I've had the most amazing youth, because I had all these movies, all this media just feeding me stories and storytelling, myth, legend. It was everywhere. And I really, really loved that. And I was 7 years old, and I found that book, Faeries, that you saw here, in the forbidden section of my local library. And by forbidden section, it sounds way cooler than it actually is. It's just one shelf, and it was in the adult area of my local library. And I opened that book, and it was these pieces of art that just were opening my eyes. I wanted to do this amazing watercolors. This is the legendary Alan Lee, also concept artist for the Lord of the Rings. Still working to this day, has a huge body of work, and it's amazing. But also his colleague and friend, Brian Froud. These people, I tell them regularly that basically I love them because it's because of them I don't have a steady paying day job. It's like, it's your fault, fuckers. But I do love you for it. So I wanted to do this. I was 7 years old, and this book just opened up the world, like, this can be a job. But not knowing, I didn't have internet. I didn't know how to get along with, how? I guess I'll just draw. And these are, I think I was like 9 or 10, maybe 11. These are all copies from that book, trying out different media, just having fun. And for those who have been to my workshop or my demo earlier this week, they must have seen me draw. And I'm a messy drawer. I tend to let my pencil wander, and I used to really hate that because it was messy, it's dirty. And it hasn't much changed. My line weight is a bit better, got a bit better at anatomy, things like that. But I had fun, and I kept drawing. And by that time, at the age of 11, art started to be a lifesaver, because I got disabled. I was in a wheelchair. I still have a chronic disease, illness. I still deal with pain every single day, 24/7, for the past 30-odd years. Art has been my lifesaver. So apart from my love for stories, it has kept me alive, truly. And I wanted to have fun and create stories myself, tell the stories I wanted to tell. And I wanted to go to art school. Applied for art school, and I was like, yes, baby, I got in. That's great. And I stopped making art. Because in the Netherlands, I was this very hyped up person. No shit, Sherlock. I was like so happy I was going to art school, could do all these things. And then I told them I wanted to do fantasy illustration, and they told me, fantasy is not real art. There's no business in that. There's no money in that. You should do something else. The only option that was illustration was fashion illustration. Have you seen me? I'm not fashionable. I can't do this. So I actually studied graphic design. And I actually really, really love that I did that, because it is very fundamental. A lot of the things you put in practice with illustration are actually things you do in graphic design as well. It is a form of illustration in a sense. So I did everything my way. I did what was required, but I did it as I wanted it to be. And it was a little bit on edge, trying things like scorching the flesh of a pig to make an album cover, that kind of stuff. It was just, let's do this and let's do it differently. But the love for fantasy was always there. And when I told my professors that I wanted to do my version of Snow White, and really bring home how important that story is and what the meaning of that story is, because people have been telling stories forever since we could, to make sense of life, to make sense of whatever was happening. And Snow White is a very good example of that. And I wanted to show you people that it wasn't the Disney-fied version. It wasn't about cute little animals and a man coming to rescue you. It was about uncomfortable things. So this was a multimedia thing I designed, I illustrated, I did animation, I did sound effects. Everything was done by me. And I had to do it by myself because my professors again told me, you know what, that's fantasy, that's fairy tale, that's for kids, you're on your own. So I taught myself all these disciplines, from animation to sound editing to whatever it was. And 3 days before my final exam, my computer crashed with all my files on there. Had 3 days. I was contemplating just jumping off the balcony. I was like, that sounds messy. Just been in that wheelchair, just not feeling it. So I said, I'll just not sleep for 3 days and do it. And this installation took 30 minutes to go round, to tell the whole story, and it was a book on a white table, and there was sounds mixed in when characters came in, and you had to flip the page. So 30 minutes, and my trial run was actually my professors scoring me for my final exam. So I was there standing like, okay, let's do this, let's prove them wrong. And I proved them wrong. I was the only one who graduated with honors in my class. And thank you. And I had people come up to me saying, I never knew that the story was so good, that it was so rich. And I was like, yeah, that's the power of storytelling. Picking up my diploma, I had a T-shirt on on the back. It said, "You dirty, dirty bastard," and I gave them a really big finger. So that was I'll do just what I want to do. Go on. I was a designer. There I was. I had my paper for a graphic designer. With, again, no idea how to be an illustrator. Didn't know what I wanted to do, had no clue. So having that day job gave me the opportunity to mess around and try new things and find out what I liked. And this is my claim to fame, because I actually worked for the Pope. Yeah. It had to be sent to the Vatican to get the papal approval. So me being who I am, that is kind of a thing, because usually I feel very uncomfortable in churches. It's like any moment now I'll burn like flames everywhere. But that was cool. And I really like design. I did it for 16 years on the side. So I had a day job that paid for the bills. And that meant I could be an illustrator by night and try everything that came on my path. And I mean everything, because I'm all over the place. And that's okay. Is it good? Not really. Like, it's kind of, yeah. Okay, let's not mention that. Let's not mention the Remco and zijn Wisselman. It's like, I suck at ink. But I do like weird stuff like this. But I tried it. And because I tried it, I knew what I didn't want to do. And it's very important that you know what you don't want to do. And then you can pivot and do something else. And find what you love. So I went on. Because people were telling me I should do digital. And judging by this, I never should do digital. For me, personally, I miss the tactility of materials. I want to be, when I'm done working, you'll see paint splashes everywhere. I just like having my hands in clay, in paint. Walking into art stores, it's like, ooh, I'm like that freak going, oh, just touch it all. But I tried it because nothing sticked yet. Nothing felt like it was, yeah, this is it. because I thought I wanted to be an illustrator. I thought I wanted to do picture books. I really hate children's picture books. Like, with a passion. It is terrible. Not only doesn't it pay good, like I slaved on for 3 months on these books, and did like 38 spreads, which means 38 paintings. I got 1,500 euros for that, for 3 months of work. I don't want to know how much euros that is, a cents that is an hour. Thankfully, I can't do numbers because I'm an artist for a reason. So I'm not even attempting that, but this ain't it. And I felt so bad about that because I was still, what else? What else can I do? Well, I'll try gallery art. And this felt more like, this is kind of weird. This hits a spot that I like. And at that time, I thought, the Netherlands is a very tiny market. A successful book is about 1,500 copies. That's a successful book. That's a bestseller in the Netherlands. It's that small. So I thought, I'll save up all my money and go to the US, visit US conventions and see if there's a market there. And it started doing this. And I was trying to visually sound like what's popular. I was trying to fit in and trying to be one of the cool kids. And it was so depressing because nothing was hitting, nothing new. Nobody wanted to work with me, really. I wasn't getting into Spectrum, which was a big annual best of fantasy art in the USA. I don't really think it's no longer there, thankfully. And it isn't the best of the best because there's so many other people who never apply. There's so much talent around the world we never get to see. So this is not a representation of what is the best. It's just a jury deciding what's best. But here I was with my backpack, just trying to sell my art, feeling very down about myself again. And that's when I spoke to John and he said, there's always going to be thousands of artists that are better than you. You just need to be the best version of you. And I had no clue. So I did this. Maybe this is it. I actually came up with an idea for a children's book. Surprise, surprise, it's about a witch hunt. It's the wild hunt, where witches one night a year, they have a wild hunt throughout the world, and the prize at the end of the race for the winner is they get to pick one child to do whatever they like to eat. So I had great fun with the cauldron of babies. We actually won awards with these books. These were the best fantasy books in the Netherlands and Belgium. Guess what? Publisher dropped us. Not enough sales. There I was again with another failure on my hands. Another thing that I tried and didn't succeed. I had done all these books, and there's more. Covers, interior illustration, everything. I thought, this, I made it. Was this the thing I dreamed about when I was 7 years old? It was my biggest nightmare. I fell out of love with art. I didn't like what I was doing. It felt so super uncomfortable. It felt like I was trying to squeeze myself into a size 0 jeans, and I'm obviously not a size 0. And it felt very uncomfortable. And I felt defeated, and I felt awful, and I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. I found a book called Still Like an Artist by Austin Kleon, and it says, write the book you want to read. And in my mind, that turned into, create the art you want to see. And I was like, what did I do to myself? I spent all this time chasing something, and it just didn't fit me. It wasn't me. I didn't like it. I was trying to, copy people. It wasn't authentic. It felt off. I felt uncomfortable. hated everything, hated art. And it's the saddest thing to happen when you're a creator, when you're an artist, and you hate everything you're doing. You drag yourself into your studio to create something for somebody else, and not yourself. And I was like, fuck that shit. I'm done. I tried. I gave it my best. I gave it my all. I tried all these things. It just didn't work out, which is fine. I'll just go back to the thing I love most and create art for myself. Didn't care about algorithms, didn't care about Facebook, likes on Instagram. I had 1,000 followers on Instagram. Who cares about me? I just want to make art for me. Because in the end, that's the only one I have to please. I'm going to do my thing. I have a steady paying day job. Pays for my food, pays for everything I can do. It's not a luxury. Like, I don't have a lot left, but it's okay. The fact I'm not working as a professional artist doesn't mean I'm not an artist. I claim that title. I claim the title of being an artist because I create despite everything. And that's when I stopped giving a fuck and started doing what I wanted to do. And there was a hashtag on Instagram called Mermaid. And the only thing I told myself is like, one sketch a day. Doesn't have to be finished. Can be anything. But it needs to be a mermaid, and not a mermaid that other people think a mermaid is. Make them scary, make them hostile, make them weird, make them freaky, make them whatever you want to be, and post them. Don't care who sees it. Write a little bit of a story, and I did. And one led to the other, and after a month I had hundreds of mermaids. And then it was May was done in June. Okay, I guess we'll do June Fae. Got back to the Faeries, and I went down a rabbit hole I didn't want to climb out of. I created so many things. I filled sketchbook after sketchbook after sketchbook. In 3 months' time, I filled 25 sketchbooks full of stories, full of things that I had bottled up and put aside and thought, nobody wants this. I was thinking from the wrong perspective. I was thinking about what other people wanted me to do, when I, in fact, needed to think about that 7-year-old Iris who wanted to draw fairies. And here I did. They just needed to be. They needed to be made. They needed to have substance. And I did that. And more. I identify as this one here. That's my end goal, by the way. I am getting there. The chin is looking, It's getting there. I'm very proud of that. So if you're wondering why the hair, stories evolve, stories started to happen. Again, self-portrait. And after June Fae, what else? I just kept going. And people asked me, because I saw my Instagram grow, like insane, it exploded. This was before the algorithm sucked completely, so I still had growth. Trust me, I have not had any growth in the last 3 or 4 years. Stuck on the same number. It's okay, it doesn't matter. But people are asking me, what are you going to do with all of this? Because you've got like all these sketchbooks and all this art and all these stories. What are you going to do? Like, you know what? I'm a graphic designer still. I guess I'll make a book. And on June 21st of 2017, this happened. Thank you. My life completely changed. Within 48 minutes after launch, my entire campaign was funded. I needed 15,000 euros to make 500 books. I ended up with, after 30 days, I ended up with 111,000 euros, and I sold 2,500 copies of my book. I made a mistake, promising people a free sketch in every book in the first 48 hours after launch. I ended up sketching unique sketches 700 times. It took me 2 months to package all the books, sketch all the sketches, and send them out to backers on my own. On a Sunday evening, I was chatting with Guillermo del Toro, who backed my campaign for an original and told me, I want a green man in your style and make it exceptional. Dude, seriously. I was like, you know what? I don't know what you think is exceptional, but I know what I can do at this moment in time. And I had a ball doing it. And this book is the result. If you want to see it, come and have a look. I sadly couldn't bring more. But yeah, a thing that was me, authentically me, my 7-year-old kid in me is doing this. It has been, I sold the rights to a publisher. We've surpassed the 15,000 copies sold in English. There's translations in Italian, German, and Spanish. And I'm doing whatever the hell I want. Because people want me. They want my voice in their world. I'm lucky that I haven't had to ask for work. They came to me, because one day I got an email saying, hey, do you want to work for Magic the Gathering? Don't mind if I do. But I'll give it a go. I'm one of those cats hiding in between the penguins, like it's day 365, they still haven't gotten to me, they still haven't seen me here. So I'm adding my voice to the world of Magic the Gathering, and I'm approaching this as if it's my own world, it's my thing. If I don't like it, I don't take the job. I actually said no to a very big gaming job because I wasn't really happy and willing to give them my creatures for their game. I was like, no, thank you. If you want to make a game with me, then we'll talk. These are all things for different people. And then I was asked to do a Dark Crystal Bestiary, and that was a live thing. None other than Brian Froud he didn't want to work on the book anymore after Age of Resistance. He was like, I just want to paint something else, and Gelfling and Skeksis. So he was like, I know of one person who can do this, and that's Iris. And I was like, oh shit. How can I? People want to see his work. But my mentality is like this. If they believe in me, who am I to say that they're wrong? I'll just believe in them believing in me, and I'll get there. And I was doing my thing, traditionally, on paper, with pencils, having a ball, just enjoying every stroke. Adding my voice to a world that I've known for many, many years. Even got to design some creatures that never been seen before, like this one, the Shrukel. I now walk into bookstores, well, not many bookstores, but because I'm never finding my own books anyway. But I walk in bookstores and that's my book. Do you want it signed? And I'll have to show my passport to prove it's me. But it's still, I get to sign books. It's cool, sort of. And I get to do this. I get to do these things. I get to play around. I've got about 1,000 sketches for this book, and maybe 400 got into the book. So maybe there's going to be a best of. I don't know. And then Netflix Gold. This is all I can show you and tell you that I did indeed work as a pre-visual developer in a wonderful team on a project with Guillermo del Toro. That's about it. Can't say anything. So we move on to Jared the Goblin King. Again, a bestiary. I now own all the bestiaries, I think. But who needs an excuse to paint David Bowie as Jared the Goblin King? I don't. I'd gladly do that. And I got to do the same thing. Having fun, playing around. I mean, come on. Traditional, guys. So, by the way, it's very difficult to get his likeness for the Goblin King. Like, it's a very thin line between David Bowie and the Goblin King. There's definitely a difference. Trust me how I know. It's not the bulge, by the way. Yeah. I have not sold any of these. These are my babies. I can't part with them. And then Star Wars. Why not? So from from a place where nobody wanted to work with me to pretty much the big fish wanted, like, hey, Iris, you want to work on this? And I'm, let me think about that one. Let's check the calendar for this. Oh, I can fit you in, yeah. Yeah, you fake it until you make it, don't you? So yeah, I got to do this. It's kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah, and that's my tool of trade. Like that little palette there, that's pretty much the only thing I use. Don't ask me about the whole cupboard full of watercolors. That is like, I'm not asking you about your shoe fetish. But this is it. This is me doing whatever I like. Oh, eaten by those. Yeah, and you know, I say no to a lot of projects because they're just not a fit, because I don't believe. I am in a very privileged situation where I can say no to things, because I believe I can only bring the best art when it resonates with me. The way I approach this is, would I do this if I wouldn't get paid? And if the answer is yes, then it's a good fit, but obviously they need to pay me big time. If their answer is no, then there's somebody else who's better at it. And I will I'll say, hey, I know somebody who is really good at this, and I will definitely recommend my colleagues and my friends. Because in the end, you're only as good as the community you help build. Because I didn't do this alone. I did this because of the backers, my Kickstarter people, who basically gave me the opportunity to get my work out. And you know, to this day, I still do whatever I want to do. And that is paint weird shit and sculpt weird shit. And you know, I might have a problem with doing all these things and think, oh, I can do that. I want to do that. End up with a whole bunch of art materials. I hear so many people saying, I can't do this. I shouldn't be doing this. Nobody wants this. Do you want it? Because if the answer is yes, then it is valid, then it's needed, then it's wanted. And I think with the rise of AI, we need your stories. Your stories are valid. Your stories are your humanity. It's your strength, it's your culture, it's everything. Do not let machines take over. Do not let corporations take over. Make art, make glorious art, make disgusting art, terrible art, fail fabulously, and keep going. Help others, be a good, decent human being. Help create a community. Work together. Find the people that are your tribe or whatever you want to call it. But whatever you do, do it because you need it. Make the art you want to see in the world and don't care about likes, dislikes. Everybody has an opinion like they have an asshole. doesn't mean I need to see it. And with that, I invite you to ask questions when I'm walking around. I still have 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't think we can do... Can we do questions? If there are questions. If there are questions, no questions. Nobody wants to know that. Oh, there's one.
Hello again. You signed.
Oh
my
yeah,
cards
you're
for
the
me.
only person in South Africa with signed Magic the Gathering cards. Guys, you snooze, you lose.
So it has to do with the Magic cards. Out of all the ones you've done, I think Cloud of Faeries is probably the most popular, well-known one. But which one is your favorite that you've done?
I can't say because it's not out yet.
Oh, it's not yet.
It just got approved, so you have to wait, I think, till 2027.
Wait, so...
But in January of this year, like mid-January, there's a new set coming out, Lorwyn Eclipsed, and I can say that there's 12 cards of me in there. It's my set, basically. It's like I just, oh my. That's the big set that's coming up. I'm very excited about it, and all the artists have done amazing stuff, and it's an honor to be part of that. But yeah, the one I'm most excited about now is coming out. I do love my food coma one, which is very cute bumble sheep. It's so cute. And I like my Titania, which I painted in one day because she basically is from my world. So yeah.
Good speech. Really liked what you said. Just a quick question. Have you worked with any musicians? Has anyone approached you?
No. Ooh. Do you want to?
Quite possibly.
We should chat. No, I haven't, but a fun thing, when I did the Kickstarter and it was a success and all of a sudden everybody was, oh, Iris, oh. And I was invited to speak at Lightbox in LA. I was like, okay, I'll go to LA. And then at that moment, people were asking me, because, what's your next best big thing? It's like, okay, shit, what do I do next? And it's like, the biggest thing I can think of is building a theme park. Like, how cool would that be? Like, Faeries of the Fall theme park. It's like, okay, and everything in there, running up to that theme park would be like a cherry on top of whipped cream, on top of sprinkles, on top of chocolate sauce. It's an extra. And I was telling about that, and I was signing later on, and this lady came up to me. She said, I heard you talking about a theme park. Yeah, I think I can help you there. And she slid over a business card that said Disney Imagineering. They are responsible of the theme parks. I lost the card, though. So, guess that's out of the question. But still, dream big, and everything else is going to be that cherry on top of the whipped cream. Because I wasn't supposed to have this career. Because nobody wanted me. I was 37 when I finally quit my day job. And that's when everything happened. That's 7 years. How? I can't do math. It's about 6 or 7 years ago. So everything you've seen is within that amount of time.
Really loved your talk. I'm curious if you feel like it is easier to make the art that you want to make and that you genuinely care about when your needs are fully met. You know what I mean?
I think so, but I also did this when my means weren't met.
Right.
Because I had a day job. And I always tell people, like, hey, it is okay to have a day job to pay for those bills so you can actually focus on the art you want to make. Because if you have a job and you say yes to, I've been there, I've said yes to jobs that were low paying, also not interesting, and they killed my creativity. So saying no to jobs that aren't really what you want to do, but you want to do them because it helps you get into an industry, from my experience, it doesn't work. But I had a day job. Find a day job that is not mind-numbing you, whatever, that you like, that feeds you most mentally and physically, obviously. Make the tough decisions. I made tough decisions to not have children. I made tough decisions to go without certain luxuries. I pretty much lived like, how long can I last with this package of rice? And that worked for me, but it is not easy, and it's not a given, and it won't happen for everyone. And I'm very aware of that. But I choose my enjoyment over creating, over anything. And I would still be an artist even if tomorrow nobody wants to work with me again.
Right on, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it loud mic? Okay. I'm actually quite familiar with your work, and I'm very surprised at the amount of projects that you've worked on that I absolutely love. So it's been really special to kind of meet the person behind it and to meet you as a person. It's been really cool.
I hope I don't disappoint you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I wondered if you've actually learned any lessons for work-life balance, specifically because when you love your work, it can almost turn into such an all-encompassing
I still fuck up daily. Trust me, I still fuck up daily because I've been diagnosed with ADHD/autism. I'm part of the club. Who would have thought? Like, big surprise. But that also means I have super focus on the things I love, which means I do not eat, I do not drink, I do not go to the bathroom until it's too late. I don't piss my pants, don't worry. But you know, it is difficult, and it has led to me being burnt out after working with Netflix, which was a really tough thing because I was remote. I'm in the Netherlands, they're in LA. Then Guillermo was working Pinocchio. We had a meeting at 12 midnight, and that ran into 3 a.m. in the morning for me. And I woke up at 6, started working at around 7, 8. That was my schedule. And I couldn't switch off between. And that broke me. I ended up being unable to draw anything. So I've learned a lot from that. And I now go to the gym and lift weights because I want to be a big bear, like a bear in the forest. And instead of, I want to be strong. Fight the apocalypse, Mad Max, I'm preparing. But yeah, it's very important to find a balance, and I try to do that by going out and experiencing things, going out and do things that are not art-related. They end up being art-related, but I believe that you need to go out and experience and have inspiration find you. And I've noticed that I rarely take out my sketchbook and sketch when I'm traveling. I always take my sketchbook, but I don't do the sketching. And that's okay. I come home and I dump everything I've experienced on that paper during the months I'm working at home. So finding out what works for you really helped me. Like, noticing that I can't do online workshops. I just, I suck at them. Like, I always buy courses. I spend like €100 or $100 on a course and think, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, one lesson, I'm like, okay, squirrel. It doesn't work for me. And finding out what works for you is very important when you're dealing with those mental health things. Like, you don't have to push yourself. There's no one way to be an artist. And if you work best at night, then I'm a freelancer. Obviously, I don't work in a studio, so I have that freedom to have my own schedule. So just find out what works for you and try to be gentle and do something else. Go out and experience life because it will make your art better and will make you better.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hi again.
Hiya.
We met a few times.
Hi, Ben.
This is not going to be a deep or any sort of philosophical question or whatever.
So darn it.
But as someone who has a partner that is also a watercolor artist, do you also obsess over pigments and swatch endlessly and collect tubes and half pans?
What do you think? I obsess so much that I even, when I was in Iceland for an art residency, I collected some rocks and I got home and I made paint from those rocks and I painted Icelandic fairies with those rocks and with the water that I collected from a waterfall in Iceland. OG. Yes, I am kind of, it's almost born to me. It's smut. It truly is. It's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, look at the granulation. Yeah, that's about it. And I think, we're done, right? Yeah. Well, this was the high point. Can't get any worse. If you do have questions and you see me running around, I can't hide because, do ask them. If you want to see my book, come and take a look. And if you want to say hi. Thank you so much for being here.